a minute to load. Oh,
here
we
go.
go.
Live.
We're live.
Podcast with Cass and Dom and Trevor Outlaw.
Woo! Hitting those high notes.
Welcome to the push, everybody. So, this is a new thing we're doing tonight. We're trying something new for everybody. We're live. We're live on YouTube on our bodyslam.net YouTube channel, and we're also live on Ringside News Facebook page and our friends over there. So, hello everybody, all our new viewers and listeners. So,
all right. So I finally figured out why the audio was doubling down, and it was 100% my fault. It wasn't anybody else's fault.
That's fine.
But I got it going.
Introduce yourself to everybody.
So I'm Dom. I am the very, very, very amateur co-host to this show, and like 98% of the reason why it's not more professional. You can catch me on Twitter at Dom_Malin. You can let me know how much I suck. And I am the co-host of The Push, which is brought to you by bodyslam.net and your folks that are led by the owner / boss / founder Hefe of bodyslam.net, Cassidy Haynes. Give it up for him.
How's it going, guys? And you can find me on Twitter at it's the @ thing. You know how Twitter works. And then it's Casshole with 3 O's, CASSHOOOLE. Give me a follow. And you can follow bodyslam.net at bodyslamnet on Twitter as well. So check us out. Follow us there. And we have a podcast Twitter too, don't we, Dom? What's that one?
Yeah, it's at bodyslam_pod. But enough about us, because
let's get back to our guest here.
We're here with the man, one of the official homies of Push Podcast, and we're very blessed to have you on again, Trevor Outlaw. Hello.
Gentlemen, it's good to be back. I got a lot of good and bad press from this last one. More people on the internet making fun of me for getting hit in the nuts with a confetti cannon. I can't even go to the grocery store without people making fun of me. So hence a change of appearance here. We're trying something fresh.
Dude, yeah.
I thought you said you did that for us. I thought that was for us.
Hey, sometimes I gotta say things to keep you pleased.
Yeah, dude, he's treating us like girlfriends right now. He's gotta feed us bullshit to keep us hot and fresh. But I like it, dude. I didn't even recognize you. I was like, damn, who's this guy? But my beard now reigns supreme. That's what this is all about now. Now I have the champion beard of the crew. Look at this guy, all dapper Dan over here. But mine would win in a fight. Mine's a little bit more like.
Yours is full.
Yours would, yeah.
Yeah, it's unkempt. It's a little bit backwoodsy. You know what I mean? You can't really tell what it's gonna do. It'll probably stab you.
Yours would win in I missed lunch and I need to comb through for food.
Oh, there's weapons in here. You're not even. There's shit in here you don't even know. Next thing you know, there's gonna be a little switchblade comes out and you get got. But anyway, so tomorrow's a big day, right?
So tomorrow is Survivor Series, and the reason why Trevor came on is to keep us from having to ship this halfway across the world to current champion Shazza McKenzie, who absolutely destroyed us at the last pay-per-view. She is the current champion. And
I knew I was going to lose, man. I wasn't even pretending to be.
That's like your gimmick.
I'm terrible at this.
So for those who are new to our podcast predictions, the way we do pay-per-views is we vie for this currently estimated value at I believe it's $298,000 even. So
did it go down? It went down in value since
no.
Is that what happened?
No, I think it would. Well, since last I had it was like at $250,000. But then once
Go check the tape. If you were boasting last time that it was almost.
I'm not good with numbers, man.
It was almost at 500 million last time you were talking shit. So what you're saying is Shazza holding it depreciates the value, and I think that's fucking rude. So.
I was saying the
running
opposite.
That mouth
Shazza.
when she's not here to defend herself, bro.
Look, long story short, I don't want to have to pay the shipping fees and the insurance that comes with having to ship this and all its value halfway across the world. So, Trevor, please, if not me, then you. Don't let this schmuck down here do it.
Someone's gonna have to bring some value back to that title, and if I got to be the man to do it, then so be it.
Well, Shazza was Fortunately for her, and fortunately for the wrestling community, she is far too busy picking up with new shows and new dates. So she wasn't able to come on for this, but she did give us our predictions. So I have those, and she will be vying for it. But we can just jump right into it if you guys want to.
Man. You got the card ready?
I do.
You know this. You quarterback this thing for us because I'm going in blind, brother, like usual. I figure if I did any pre-planning, it would just maybe put too many extra thoughts in my head because I can't do that.
That's fine. That's fine. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. I think I'm missing one. Isn't there 7?
You're missing one. There's 7 matches.
So there's the women. Well, we'll go through it, and then at the end.
And I think there's a pre-show match. It's a battle royal.
Okay. Let's. How about this, Cass? If you don't mind, can you see if you can get an updated roster or an updated card while I'm riddling this off, and whatever one we miss, we'll just catch it at the end. How's that?
All right, you do that. I'll do this. Yeah.
So let's start off with one of the only non-title matches. We have Bobby Roode representing Raw against Sami Zayn on SmackDown. And I'll go first on this one. I'll go right out the block. I think Bobby Roode is going to take this, and I think he hasn't had enough marquee wins recently. And usually, I think the MO is that he takes a lot of losses on TV, and then they give him a nice big win on a major pay-per-view. And Sami Zayn is just killing it right now, as he always does. I mean, let's be honest. But I think the route that he's going is going to be taking some L's without losing the title for a while. And since the titles aren't on the line here, I think we're going to see him take it. Wait a minute.
It's a battle royal for the pre-show.
Hold on, I'm looking at this wrong. This isn't Bobby Roode. I'm going off of what freaking Shazza sent me. This isn't Bobby Roode. This is Hot Bobby Lashley. This is the U.S. versus the Oh my God, I can't believe I read this wrong. Why am I going off of Shazza's? Unbelievable. Let me bring up my own.
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah. Look at you live on the air botching.
Well, you know what? For anybody that doesn't know, we can't get through a single episode without me botching at least 2 or 3 times. So
I'm gonna say hello to everyone on Ringside News' Twitter as well that just joined us. Thank you guys for finding us. You can find our podcast site or Twitter account at bodyslam_pod. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching us make a fool of ourselves.
All right,
that's what we do.
So let's. All right, I got a more official card here. So let's start off with the dual brand battle royal. And
there's no participants now announced, so I think we should just throw out a wild card pick, and if any of us gets it, that's just an extra bonus. Mm-hmm. Well, Shaz didn't pick, did she? Did she have a wild battle royal pick?
She didn't, so let's not count this. We'll just do it for fun.
Okay, this will be for fun for us, bragging rights. All right.
And I know that that our buddies over at the Broadcast Network, who have their own show, their own wrestling show called the Jabronis, they were really high on Lars Sullivan in this.
Oh, that was gonna be my That was gonna be my sleeper.
Well, I mean, it's all for. This is just for.
All right, I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna ride that battle with them. Let's go, Lars. I'm all in on Lars. I know Ringside loves that. Let's go.
How about you, Trevor? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with. Because I'm looking at the card myself. I don't see him. I think Dolph Ziggler's going to be in there and win it.
Oh, good call.
With looking at his previous history of being like a sole survivor and not really being incorporated on the show too much this year, I think that's going to give him a lot of fuel to want to do something. And if there's an opportunity for him to slip himself in here, there's probably going to be a lot of other guys trying to, get a moment and shine for themselves here. But I mean, if he can take a moment and, expose everybody else for what they're doing and get them out, that's going to be a really good opportunity for him to come back and be like, hey, you guys thought you could forget about me. Joke's on you, you can't. Because I feel like he's always done a really good job with that. He goes away for a while and then he comes back and he reminds you guys like why he's been with the company as long as he has been. And, whether he wins or not, he's still going to do something to leave an impression on people. And I think this might be his opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what? Just because Cass took Lars, I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to take Ali from Retribution.
I would like to see that as well. I'm a little biased. I'm a little biased with my Chicago people, but that would also be a good one.
It is a good one.
I think Retribution just come in and just wreck house, and like them all be the last ones left, and then just leave.
And they just all step over and let Ali win.
I really don't understand why we haven't seen that. And honestly, Trevor, maybe you're alluding to something that will happen tomorrow night. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how the Raw vs. SmackDown men's elimination match ends, with Retribution just taking the ring and destroying everybody. But that way,
this is a good opportunity for them to. I'm a little bit of an anarchist myself, and I like to see when things get challenged outside of what things are supposed to be. because it makes it more entertaining for the people watching at home. I think when you have this group, there's, regardless of whether people like them or not, or hate on their names, like they're getting people talking and they're getting people to see something needs to change in WWE. This is what they've been doing. And this is the product of several people that are on the roster that feel like they haven't gotten the opportunities that they deserve. So now they're taking them for themselves. And it's so fresh to see that too, when you have your athletes taking the power back and kind of making it about them again. Yep. And, I think that's something that fans are longing for. And, with WWE being as big of a company as it is, I don't think we get to see them as much as we want to yet, kind of because of that, because they're putting all these things in place to keep them from getting their message out and across. And they just keep finding a way to get in and do that. And I really want to see them and if they could do it on such a big show like Survivor Series, that's going to really leave an impression.
Yeah, make them look real strong. They need to do that. They need something that makes them look strong after like some pretty wishy-washy 50-50 booking that's done, I think, the opposite. But
yeah. Now, the downside to doing that the way that I mentioned would be that you just squash 10 of your top guys on the main roster.
Like they have a problem doing that, but whatever.
Yeah, it's true. Well, we'll get to that later. But let's get back to the match that I already messed up with one of my and it's so funny too because it's one of my favorites. Bobby Lashley, the U.S. champion, against one of my other favorites, Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental champion, who is right here in his El Generico.
Nice.
You can see. But since I screwed this up, I will go. Oh, look at you with the mask.
I like that.
Cool. Since I screwed this up, I'll go first. And dude, as much as I love Sami Zayn, I can't go against Bobby Lashley. I'm taking Bobby Lashley. I hope he holds on to the belt for like years. Like literally.
Is it a U.S. title match or is it a unification match? What is this?
No, it's just champion versus champion.
Okay. Well, he can lose this match and still be the champion.
That's true. I'm rooting for Sami, man.
I agree with you. I think I'm going for Sami.
Smart, dude. Like, here's the thing. Bobby Lashley's a great wrestler. Like, I'm never going to take away his credentials from him. He's a great wrestler. He had an amateur background, great MMA fighter as well. But when it comes down to it, like, the dude is more muscle than he is brains. And I think that Sami Zayn is kind of the opposite, whereas Sami Zayn is also a phenomenal wrestler, but he's smart and he's resourceful and he knows how to piss his opponents off and he knows how to get in their head. And I think if he lets Bobby's emotions get the best of him, and if the Hurt Business doesn't get to get involved too much, I think that's going to play in Sami Zayn's favor. Even if they do get involved too much, I think Sami Zayn's going to be able to adjust and adapt on the fly. And I think he doesn't get enough credit for how good of a wrestler he is, because if there's someone that knows how to adapt, it's him. He might be a little bit of a chicken shit, and he might run his mouth a little too much for my liking, but you cannot take away from Sami Zayn. And I think he wants people to want Bobby Lashley to win, because the more people that are against him, that's just going to fuel him even more.
Yeah. Sure. Hate makes beards grow thick. I thought you would know that, but now you don't have a beard, so I don't know if this is.
I've been wondering why I'm in an exceptionally nicer mood.
Yeah, dude, you're like baby facing it up. It's the lack of beard, and that's what it is. It hangs in there. So I'm going with Sami Zayn. Yeah, let's do it.
Trevor's gonna go full Ron Swanson. He's gonna wake up tomorrow. It's just gonna be a fully grown beard again.
Yeah,
you guys, man, and that it grows back so fast too. Yeah, screw it. We're gonna go for a clean shave. This is my way of going rogue. If people didn't think I had a face underneath it, so I was like, you know what, I should probably check for myself if I have anything under there. And thankfully, I do have a full face.
So guys, you're together on this one. You're going for Bobby Lashley, obviously. So
I'm going for Bobby, and we should mention that the current champ Shazza also took Sami Zayn here. So
all right,
lucky for me, this is where I stand alone. Maybe I can get some traction from you guys here.
There you go.
So we'll keep moving on. We have the tag team, Raw tag team versus SmackDown, the New Day versus the Street Profits, and I love the way that they've been working this back and forth with Big E basically being boys with the Street Profits on SmackDown, and kind of like, just taking friendly jabs at each other, and the New Day and the Street Profits kind of having a friendly rivalry. But I think this match might steal the entire show. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll let you know Shaz's picks first on this one. And
yeah, what's the champ got?
She took the New Day. New Day rocks. I'll go first again on this one.
So she didn't want the smoke, huh? All right.
I'll take it upon myself to go first on this, and I'm going to take Street Profits, because I think that this is where the New Day is at right now. Both are going to have their titles at the end of this, and I think this match and really this card is for putting over some of the younger guys that are not younger, but some of the guys that they're currently trying to push that aren't necessarily the same people that we've seen on the top for the past 4 or 5 years. And that's really the New Day more than anybody else on this card, if you think about it. So I'm going with the Street Profits. How about you guys?
Trevor, I'll let you go first or next on this one.
I'm kind of torn. If there's any match that I genuinely am having a hard time picking a winner, who I think will win, it's definitely this one, right? Because you look at a team like the New Day. They've been around for so long, and yes, they're not at 100% because Big E's not with them, and this is a different form of New Day. Like, you know, they're still themselves. They've always been themselves, so it's not like we're going to see something drastically different with them and who they are. But I think in terms of how they compete, especially with, you know, Woods has been out the longest out of them, and then Kofi was out for a little bit too. But now that they're both back, like, we don't see these two specifically work together as much as we would. Big E really was like, he was the one that was in all of them, whether he's working with Kofi or he's working with Woods. He was pretty much consistently in all of those matches. So I feel like for these two to have, they're brothers, you know, they've been together forever, but to have not as much ring chemistry, just these two as opposed to someone like the Profits. I mean, they've been together their entire time that they've been in WWE so far. So it's very similar paths of both teams, but I think the changes that New Day have to adapt to might be that might be their downfall against the Street Profits. So I think in this one I'm going to have to go with the Street Profits too.
Okay, I love that.
I'm going New Day. I'm going to side with Shazza. You'd think me, I would want the smoke, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Shazza. I'm going to go New Day on this one.
That's fair.
I should warn you, Cass. I don't know if you saw it, but New Day went over on, I believe, SmackDown last night over the Profits. So, or no, that was on Raw. That was on Raw. You can change it if you want to.
Nah, dude. You know me. I go with my gut.
And it always
pays off. Always pays off.
That's why you have so many hospital visits. Because you just have a really bad gut. But
that's
anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck, that checks out actually. So
all right, let's keep it rolling.
Can't even be mad at that. So
all right, so
there you go.
The next one we're going to go through is the Raw vs SmackDown Women's Champions, Asuka versus Sasha Banks, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to let Shazza go last here because she has a very specific prediction for how this ends.
Okay, Trevor, you go first.
No.
Because I already forgot
you go
what
first.
I forgot what you said the match was. I don't want to have to ask.
Asuka versus Shazza. Oh my goodness, Sasha. Asuka versus Sasha, really, and Shazza picks. I'm not going to tell you who she picks.
Wait, what is it? So what's the match? What the fuck? You just really confused me. So it's Sasha versus Bayley?
No, it's Sasha versus Asuka. You got to wait for Shazza because if Shazza picks Asuka, then that's going to defend.
All right. So
it's Sasha Banks versus Asuka. Go.
Okay. I'm
going with Sasha on this one.
I'm going to go Asuka.
Go Sasha. Okay.
I'm going to go Asuka.
Ooh, all right. So I really don't know. You're going with
Sasha's on a roll right now.
Yeah. She really is.
I'm gonna go Asuka. I'm gonna go Asuka by way of outside interference of some sort.
What kind of outside interference?
Somebody's gonna cost Sasha the match. Obviously, do I need to say who?
Yeah. Well, you don't look. It doesn't change your prediction.
It doesn't change my pick. I don't know.
I'm just curious.
Is something happened? I'm just gonna say maybe Bayley just to keep that feud going.
Okay. So, Trevor, you're going with Sasha, and Cash, you're going with Asuka. Okay. I loved the way that Shazza McKenzie picked this one because I agree. And I think, Cass, this is what you're going for. You just picked the wrong person because obviously that's you. I think that Sasha Banks wins by DQ because of interference from Carmella, who comes out and beats up on Sasha during the match.
Yeah.
I
forgot. Yeah, I didn't even think about that because Carmella's been messing with her ever since she came back. See, that's interesting though, because like when you have a card like this where it's not traditionally like who you have issues with, you know, like on your show, like you know, the pay-per-views normally do a good job of separating like this is what's going on the Raw side of things, this is what's going on the SmackDown side of things. And I think that the hype behind such a big pay-per-view that it is. I mean, there's not as much build, but it's like, it's still a big deal when you have the brands go head to head like this, that like, I didn't even think about like all of those other factors going into it, that like somebody could mess with it.
Yeah.
Bayley could even come in and interfere with it, even though she's got a match. Like,
well, I'm not gonna lie. I was high. I'm high, and I realized I fucked this up. That like I want Sasha to be attacked, so that means she wouldn't win the fucking match, right? So she would win the match and not the other person. So Sasha's gonna be the one that gets attacked. So
Sasha will win by DQ.
Sasha will win by DQ because she's gonna get attacked. I got all fucked up with the way you started me on that one, and then I screwed it up because I'm not. Yeah, you know how I am. So can you
Unique New York?
What I wanted to happen was Sasha get attacked, which is going to cause her to win apparently, and I said Asuka on the first place, but on accident. But yeah,
so you want to go with Sasha? Sounds like we're just
attacked. Yeah, we're all stacked up on that one.
Used to, and I think, but here's the thing though too. Even if Carmella does interfere, like Sasha's been dealing with all these issues with Bayley, right? And she's got to be used to being attacked at this point. Like you've got to be more. I mean, and thinking if it's happened to her 3 weeks in a row now, that's got to be in the back of her head going into this match. Like I would like to think so, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Sasha on this one though. I don't want to count Asuka out, but I feel like, especially with the momentum of Sasha just winning the title,
right?
And she's wrestled and she's lost to Asuka many times before. She's beaten her a couple times, but I think that like she's got that decisive win over Bayley from Hell in a Cell, so now she's got a little bit more confidence going into this match that like she might be able to handle it. But who knows?
So. Everybody's going Sasha, and that makes me want to go with my original mistake that I had in my head. I'm going to stick with my mistake. I'm going to stick with my mistake, even though I don't. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going Asuka. I'm sticking with my mistake. Let's do that.
I like that, buddy. I always hate when we.
I go against the grain. I have to gamble at all times and go against the grain. How else am I going to win if I don't shoot from the hip? So let's do this, man. Asuka it is. Put it in the books. Send it to the internet.
So let's go to the women's elimination match, and now we have Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana versus Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalya. I'll let you know, Shazza picked SmackDown here, and I'm going to give her a lot of grief for going against the girl Peyton Royce. I thought Peyton was removed from the card for some reason, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, they took Dana Brooke and
Dana Brooke was out. That's right.
Yeah, Mandy and Dana, because Mandy messed up her shoulder.
Okay, so that's what it was. And so Shazza picked SmackDown, and I'm gonna pick. Shazza picked SmackDown, but no, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's the men's one. I'm sorry. Shazza picked Raw, and I'm picking Raw as no. I'm screwing up. Shazza picked.
Shocked, Cotton.
So Shazza's picking Raw, and she picked Lana as the sole survivor for Raw.
No, she's not going through a table. She's going through a table. We need it. I want it.
I was originally on that train of thought too, but I don't want to keep picking the same way she does. And the more I think about it, I think
Cassidy here.
Yeah. Well, I think that Lana is definitely going to be the last woman standing for Raw, and they're going to do a whole lot to give. Like, this is going to be her night to become a serious competitor in everybody's eyes. They've been pushing this to get so much sympathy for her for so long just for this night. But instead of her being the sole survivor, I think it'll maybe come down to like a 4-on-1 or a 5-on-1, and she lasts until a 1-on-1, and then she gets pinned. So I don't know who it is that's going to pin her or who's going to be the last one standing, but I think we see an amazing turnout from Lana, but not enough to get the win. I'm going to go with SmackDown here.
Okay. I think Lana's going through a table, but Nia's putting her through the table because something happens in that match to they just blow up, and Lana can still win. So yeah, I'm going to go with Raw as well, but I definitely want Lana to eat a table.
Well, maybe that's how they celebrate. Maybe they celebrate with Lana for the win, and then Nia puts her through another table.
Either way.
That'd be so bad. I feel so bad for Lana. I'm going to have to disagree with you guys here. I'm going SmackDown all the way. I'm biased because I love Liv Morgan. I love Bianca. I think Bianca is going to really shine in this match.
Yeah.
Because her and Bayley, I could see having potential clashes because there's a lot of egos. You look at like the types of competitors are there. There's a lot of ego in there. But when you look at the changes that has happened to the Raw team, I mean, Dana and Mandy were pretty much kind of, it was Dana and Mandy and Nia and Shayna really like. It's two teams, like it's two tag teams that are like kind of dictating the pace. And now that you just have the one. And Nia Jax is all over the place. She just keeps throwing Lana through these damn tables. It's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's entertaining, but she has a tendency of getting caught up in what's going on in the moment, and that leads to her demise, and that's going to backfire on her. And I do agree that Lana's going to go through a table, but I think that's going to screw them. I as entertaining as it might be, and Nia's going to try to get her moment to entertain the masses. But I think her just bullying Lana like this, it's going to screw her over eventually. There's no way it doesn't. But I want to see Peyton Royce shine. I mean, I think she's got a lot too to offer, where it's like she's forced into this tag team that she doesn't want to be in with Lacey Evans. And it's like, if I'm not tagging with Billie Kay, I should be the best that I am on my own. So maybe this is an opportunity for her to step up to the plate, which is something that I would like to see. I don't think this is going to be the match where we see a sole survivor winning. I think if there's going to be a sole survivor on the Raw side, it should be Shayna, because Shayna is by far the biggest badass in there.
Yeah,
agreed.
But I also think she might get caught up in enjoying what's going on with her and Nia, because they're bloodthirsty. They just want to beat people up, and it's like, that's great, but like, you have a match to win, and right. I think that might be Raw's downfall. There's a lot of I just see a lot more holes in the Raw side of things than I do on the SmackDown side.
Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to this match specifically for the storytelling aspect of it. I think there's enough, or there's more intertwining sub storylines that are going into this match than maybe any other match.
Absolutely, and every participant in this match has something different to prove right now. Whereas, I'm looking at the men's roster, there's definitely something to prove there, but I think this match is going to be more about some one individual out of this entire group of women having a moment to shine and having the moment to show that what they can do and why they should be on top. Whereas with the men's one, I think that one's going to be a little bit more brutality.
Yeah, I could see that.
So three of us for you, Dom, you and I went Raw, Shazza went Raw, and you went SmackDown, right?
No, I took SmackDown too.
You went SmackDown.
Okay,
two SmackDowns, 2 Raws. All right.
Yes, sir. I like this. We're getting a lot of diversity on here, so it's going to be an interesting card tomorrow.
See, and there's not as much crazy, like, even though there isn't like a whole lot of crazy build, like this is a Survivor Series that's going to have there's a lot more unpredictability. Like, everything that we've been talking about so far, it's like, there hasn't been some crazy far-fetched idea thrown out there. Like, right. Anything that could happen would make sense, and as well as like, it really is a toss-up. So that's what's making me excited about the card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ever feel that like the less build-up or the less hype for a pay-per-view, the better the show ends up coming off after the fact? And I don't know if it's
it's lack of expectation. If you see a great card, you think you have all these expectations built up in your head, and then it doesn't deliver, and then in your mind, because you've wanted it and hyped it up so much. So right. Yeah, I kind of like these where it's just like I go into it not expecting much, and then I end up being like pleasantly satisfied, like I have the last couple times actually.
Sure.
And I think they've been going with less matches lately too, and I think that's helped as well. They haven't been trying to figure out something for everybody and having like going through like 15, 20 matches like we did a couple of times earlier in our run here of doing these predictions things. So right. Having less matches, I think, definitely helps as well.
And it's making the quality of matches better.
Exactly. Because you can't tell a story the way that you need to if you only get 15, 20 minutes plus intros, Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I agree. I like when they start earlier, and maybe it's just because I'm becoming an old man and I don't want to stay up late on a Sunday. But I like that they start earlier and end earlier, and just like you said, I like that there's maybe 5 or 6, and that's one of the reasons why I always like the takeovers, because I always feel like there's only 4 or 5 matches on the card always, but you want to sink your teeth in the most, if not all.
Yeah.
So let's keep it moving. We got the men's elimination match, and on the Raw side, we have Keith Lee, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Matt Riddle, or Riddle. And on the SmackDown side, we have Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis, who was the last night became the last man on the team.
Okay. Who you want to start off on this one?
I'll start. I don't care.
All right, take the lead, brother.
My initial reaction to this, I feel like Otis is randomly going to be the one to win it, but I don't want that because I feel like it doesn't lead anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
I think Raw is going to win only because there's enough young guys on there that they need to do something with it. One of them is going to be the one to shine, whether it's Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, even Braun. Maybe they need to turn the heat up on Braun again to give him some monsterisms back. If that's a word.
Okay.
I'm going to make
I like that, but I am going to disagree with you, and I'm going to go SmackDown.
Okay.
Because I think the only storyline right now that really would come out of that would benefit was having Jey Uso look strong, because he's now kind of being like the hitman for Roman, and they just trademarked that Big Don trademark, which is I think going to be for Roman. Instead of being the big dog, now he's the Big Don because he's running that like fucking mafia style gimmick. So that's my guess.
Can you see the expression of my face?
Well, think Michael Cole's been saying, "Here comes the big dog" forever. So now that they just like issued the trademark for Big Don yesterday or today or whatever that it came out, I think that's obviously for him since he's running this mafia style with the family. So it would benefit Jey Uso to come out of this winning it all, looking strong and doing whatever Roman tells him to do. So I think I'm gonna have to go with SmackDown in that because of the storyline right now.
How quick until we see people in the Thunderdome showing up signs that says like big dong? You're
not going to see any people unless they do it on the screen, because they've said that even though they're moving the Tropicana field, there's no people until like at least next year.
That's smart of them to do that, because honestly, especially with how things are spiking right now, it's like get to your new base, figure out how you're going to have it run there.
It's so big. That's just such a huge stadium to have nothing. I mean, just see how much more they do with the Thunderdome feel for it. Maybe, I guess we'll see how it goes.
I mean, and you look at like how AEW is. I mean, obviously in terms of the size of their venue being next to the football field, it's been.
I was there Wednesday. Did I tell you that? I went to Jacksonville Wednesday when it has that Dynamite. It was actually really cool, and the way they did their protocol was interesting too. We walked through and they had this little scanner thing. There was like a face scanner that had to line my face up, and it like read my face, and it checked my temperature, and it did like a digital readout and showed everything before I went in, so it knew if I had, and I had to fill out a waiver and everything before I came, a couple things before I came in the door. So, and then I went through, like I said, that little station that checked my temperature and made sure that I was good. I was like 97.4 is my temperature because I run cold all the time. So yeah, I was like good to go. But
that's good that they're taking so much precaution like that. But to my point was like that they've been running at their home venue for so long that now that they're like, look, if there's a way that we can safely kind of bring people in and start to mitigate fans back in here, it's a good way to do it. I think WWE taking such a big place, and it's like knowing that when we can figure it out, we can do it. That's something that I feel like might help alleviate that pressure a little bit, to where it's okay, let's figure out how we can have everything run here. How do we have our whole show run in this big ass venue? We've got this. How do we make it look aesthetically good? Because for them, presentation is going to be huge.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's okay. Now we can kind of start to safely bring fans back in here, because I think for as big of a company as WWE is, and like I know that they get a lot of heat and backlash for some of the decisions that they make, but with how serious they have to take this situation, I feel like this might be a good way for them to kind of start figuring it out and like being smarter about it.
And like you said, man, even if things go back to quote unquote normal by this time next year, you always got to think about how things are going to be in the future. And, you can't just resort back to, oh, well, all right, now that this is done, we can go back to normal. Like, you got to anticipate what happens the next time something like this happens, and you got to adapt with the times. And these are, unfortunately, people want to assume that like on any given day, they're going to wake up and we're going to go back to the way things were in 2019, but 2019's gone, man. It's, we just got to adapt and make the best of what we have. But anyway, sorry if I'm disappointing or being a somber Sally to anybody who's watching, but so wait, did we
get to a match? We did the men's match. What was Shazza? She picked what?
Shazza and you picked SmackDown. I picked Raw. And Trevor, who are you going with for this?
I'm going with Raw on this one also. And I'll keep my point short on this because I went on enough of a tangent about the buildings and everything.
Dude, talk as much as you want.
We do this. This is what we do.
You're the star here. What are you kidding?
No, you guys are the best. I think the Raw team is going to win because if you look at the names on the card, like I'm looking down at it now, you have AJ Styles.
Wait, I said SmackDown.
You said SmackDown?
Yeah, fuck. Sorry. Yeah, I said SmackDown because of Jey Uso.
I'm saying Raw.
Okay.
Raw. You got a guy like AJ. You have Keith Lee, who it wasn't the best title run, but he held 2 titles at once. You got Riddle. You got Sheamus, and you got Braun. Now, as a whole, I don't see. I mean, you look at SmackDown. You got Kevin Owens. You got Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins were trying to kill each other 5 months ago. Even though Seth Rollins is caught up in this situation with Rey Mysterio and Murphy, which also coming off of a huge loss on SmackDown leading into this pay-per-view, I just see a lot more cracks in the wall for the SmackDown roster. And King Corbin, yeah, he picks up a couple notable wins here and there, but that guy is going to be honestly, I think you put King Corbin on any team and your team automatically gets less credible because he's too focused on himself. You never see him focus on being a competitor in the ring. And it sucks because the guy's huge and he probably could, if he took things more seriously and didn't let his ego get to him, he would be able to pull out big victories. But I just don't think you have enough experience, especially with Otis too. Otis is a very new guy as well. There's not enough experience that the Raw roster is going to have, I think. And
I think King Corbin's hurt bad for not having a live audience because watching him work a live match it's so with crowd it's so much better because he just works, especially house shows. He just really knows how to work a crowd as a heel, and I think it really hurts him in his character not being able to take advantage of being able to do that and to connect with the actual fans, on a more personal level than people on a video screen and shit. And him just trying to do his stuff, him do the usual, the shtick and shit that he does, but it doesn't really have the same effect without having people there. And I think Corbin's a perfect example of somebody that really suffers from not having a live crowd.
I agree, especially with his style. He very much feeds off of the crowd where it's he wants people to hate him because he knows that
he's so good. I love watching him work live.
He doesn't have to focus on winning the people over so that he could, just piss the people off. He can get into his opponent's head and he can still get into his opponent's heads, but I don't think he doesn't have that edge as he did when for there.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe that's part of the problem of getting the King of the Ring gimmick is it just gives you something to fall into and be complacent with for a while. I think the last time that somebody really got it right was I'm wearing him right here.
They need to have the King of the Ring every year. They need to do the King of the Ring every year. There's just so much missing opportunity. I mean, there's so much opportunity there to do storylines, progress storylines, create new feuds and storylines through it. And it's a yearly thing that you can do to just kick things off, and just start so many different things, tie up things and finish. It's just, I don't understand why they don't do it every year.
And when it was a pay-per-view every year, I really looked forward to it. And you don't need to have a build up for it. It's just who we're going to make tonight,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, anyway. you look at last year's too, they made Keith Lee in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I got SmackDown. What did Shazza have for the men's? For the men's, she had Raw.
Yeah, no. Shazza for the men's had SmackDown with you, and Trevor and I are taking Raw.
So that both of the Survivor Series matches, we both chose the same way, and it's a push. Shazza and I picked the same two, and you guys picked the same two.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Whatever, dude. I was gonna say I'm not.
I like her style.
No disrespect to Shazza,
her style, bro.
No disespect to Shazza, but I'd rather be
she's gonna be so upset knowing she's gonna be so upset knowing that we're picking the same shit. Where she's gonna be pulling her hair out fuck, I'm gonna lose my title.
All right, so. The main event.
I'm the angel of death.
The main event is the only one we have left. But before we get into that, we need to acknowledge the fact that this is the 30th anniversary of the debut of The Undertaker. And they've made a point of saying that he's going to be there, right?
I think we get a short Undertaker spot, almost match, but not quite a match. He has to go do something, right? To send himself out on a bang, right? Somebody come out, talk shit, and is it going to be Elias? Well, the one there or something like that, maybe. And then Undertaker sends everybody home with him one more time, kicking some ass, putting somebody through a tombstone. There's got to be something, right?
I don't know. What do you think, Trev?
I would like to think that he is going to have some sort of send-up. I don't want to see another match. I think
it doesn't have to be a match, just something short, quick, like a little segment with him doing something physical, though. He's got to do something to remind everybody who he is and why, this is so special.
Yeah. He'll get his goodbye send-off for sure. But I don't think Yeah, I want to see. I mean, I want to see the Tombstone one more time. You know, I want to see a choke slam one more time. What I don't
Who's
want,
eating that? Who do you think's going to eat it tonight? Let's guess. This will be like our Battle Royal pre-show. Like who is going to eat the last Tombstone or last choke slam from the Undertaker?
I'm going to go last on this for specific reasons, but you guys go first.
I think I already said Elias, so I'm going to stick with that. Is he on the card anywhere?
no. So I think that's it.
Eating it because they already set that up almost one point, didn't they?
Mm.
Or maybe John Cena eats it. Ooh,
possibly.
Cena coming back. I don't know if they would do that big of a return, another big return like that.
I mean, that was that WrestleMania thing. Send it off, tie that loop one more time. But no, I'm going to say Elias. Fuck it.
I'll stick with Elias. I would like to see that though. I would love to see Cena back on my TV.
Nice.
I'm going to use my pick as a segue into the main event and pick Roman Reigns as the one that's taking this Tombstone. And that's how my very bold, over the top, well, maybe not so over the top, but that's how I think this pay-per-view ends, is with The Undertaker coming out in the main event and not costing him the match because Roman's going to win by DQ, but I think he's going to attack Roman. And I don't think this is the last time we see The Undertaker in the ring, frankly. I think this is just one of the next series of...
You're going to get an angle to set up one more week of this is the real time The Undertaker's retiring before
I wouldn't be surprised.
Pay-per-view?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this sets up another match with Roman the same way that they did with Seth, or not with Seth, with AJ, where he doesn't have to get in the ring. He doesn't have to do it in front of a live audience. There's not as much risk.
Undertaker said he doesn't want to do any more cinematic matches.
Yeah, I know. But regardless of that, I'm still saying that that's what's going to happen.
He's at the point he can do what the fuck he wants to do. If he doesn't want to do anymore, he's not going to.
Charging people $1,000 for candy.
Dude, you see how much fun he's having though right now?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm okay with it. You lived the gimmick for 30 fucking years where you really never had fun. You know what I mean? Everybody just kind of saw that cold personality, like badass, and now he's out here having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, dude. The Hot Ones was great. Everything he's done's been great right now.
Gotta watch the Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Did you see it yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's really good, man. It's because Sean Evans is the best interviewer.
He's so
anywhere,
good.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
by far. And he asks really good questions. He asked Undertaker a question. The Undertaker actually says, "I have never been asked that question before," and it is a really good. He says it's a really good question. I think he picks up on something from back in his beginning that nobody else has asked him, and I think that's something. How many times have people interviewed the Undertaker and nobody's asked him this one question?
Yeah, especially now in 2020, you know.
Yeah, and he's been doing the media run like for the last couple of weeks, leading this up a lot. So
okay,
we'll get something. We'll get something out of this. They had too much of a media blitz for this not to do some big send the fans home with some kind of Undertaker spot bump thing.
I think there's a nice alley here for it to make sense in the sense that Roman is taking over as the new head of the locker room, and he's doing it in a different way than he always has in the past. And maybe Undertaker doesn't respect the way that he's changing the tone of the SmackDown locker room, and he's coming back to, set him straight because he's the only one who can.
I could see WWE setting up one last match for him, so it's not too far-fetched, but I hope they don't, honestly. But
I hope they don't as well. And that's nothing against him personally. It's just the dude's been doing it for, he's done his time, man. There's nothing for him to prove. He's the Undertaker, dude. He's gonna go down as the greatest, one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. Yeah. And it would be great as great as it would be to see him wrestle one more time. I don't want it because I want to see this guy enjoy living his life, and I want to see enjoy spending time with his kids. The Last Ride documentaries and watching all of that and seeing like how much this man really put himself through for so long and never once complained about it. Like, you know what, Mark, enjoy the night off.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more from the heart, but from the head, I see him back in some kind of a match on some kind of a card in the next year and a half. And I think this is a good opportunity storyline wise to, how they do, plant the seed and then not even revisit it for 3 or 4 months. But look, I always try to pick one match where I pick a very specific, at least somewhat over the top prediction. And that's what I'm going to pick for this main event. I'm going with Roman via DQ, and Shazza also picked Roman. So
Yeah, I got it. I'm going with Roman. I hate Drew McIntyre. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know why you hate him so much, dude.
I don't know either, dude.
Is it
I really
personal?
don't. I don't know. And I would tell you if it is. I'd be like, because I told my Jay Briscoe, even though I don't have a story. I got stories about everybody that I have beef with. But no, I have no problem with Drew McIntyre as a person. I love his work. I just think he's bland. I just don't enjoy. He's just bland. He's a bland baby face. I like him as a heel better. I just don't enjoy his title run, unfortunately.
He's got a sword now, man. Didn't you see
That
SmackDown
helps.
last night?
That makes it better.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that Vince McMahon gave him that sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go Roman. I like Roman. I think you're doing too much with Roman right now and his character to have him lose to Drew McIntyre. I don't think it would hurt Drew McIntyre at all to eat this pin and lose this match to Roman, but I think it would hurt Roman more to lose this match to Drew.
Yeah.
And if you're establishing Roman as this new just leader of a hitman family mafia style, just total badass that he is, then he can't lose this match. So I'm going Roman.
I don't disagree with why, but at the same time, I think Drew has something to overcome here because he, the last big match they had against each other, he lost. So like, I think this puts him in a position to where like he has more to lose than Roman does, and I think that might let Roman's been a dick, dude. Like,
yeah, I like it.
I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing him have that edge to him, but there's a chance that, you're riding a high right now because you got Paulie Heyman in your corner, but like one wrong move, dude, and you're screwed. And I think that's where Drew McIntyre knows how to capitalize on that one moment, but I'm still going to go with Roman on this one. I think he has been somebody that has been the top dog since he's gotten there. And like, whether we like how he's been presented to us or not, like the dude has sacrificed a lot. And I think he's been good and to be able to overcome all of the obstacles that he has. And he's like, you know what? No, screw it. Like I'm top dog. I don't care how Michael Cole says it. He doesn't care about anything else. He's like, he's letting the world know that his shit doesn't stink as opposed to just like people casually knowing. And I think that makes Roman a little bit more dangerous because he's walking around knowing that his shit don't stink, that he's like, you know what? I'm going to beat the hell out of whoever I want to. And I mean, if he can do it on his own blood, then why won't he do it on Drew McIntyre?
Sure. No, dude, that makes total sense. Cass, you gave your pick, right? You're going with
I'm going Roman. Yeah, I'm going Roman.
So we got a clean sweep for Roman on this one. I think that's the first one that everyone's been on the
That's the first one I think we all pushed on that one. So.
Oh yeah, because Cass took Asuka in the women's title match.
Yeah,
so,
I'm
right.
gonna stick with my gut. I chose it for a reason. I'm not going to second guess myself. I'm going to go with my bad choices. That's what life teaches me. You stick with your bad choices and you ride those fuckers to the bottom of the ocean. So
okay. Whatever works for you.
Don't do what I do, guys. That's how it works. But anyway, so that was it.
That wraps it up, guys, and this is what it's all for. The $347,000 title.
No. It's for the fuck your title.
Don't confuse the
FYT
people.
title. The FYT title.
Title.
This one's shiny. This one's good. This one's boom.
This one has prestige to it. And look, I am not the champion. I'm just the keeper of the title. I'm more like I'm almost like a trustee to the estate right now for Shazza. Yeah. If she wins today,
I'm like a rogue Taz. I'm like Taz. I got my own title.
Trevor, the way that we work this, I don't know if I told you, but the way that we work the titles is if you win, then you're recognized as the champ. But in order to actually receive the title, you got to come back on and you got to defend it. And if you defend it, then I ship it out to you.
2 times. Okay. Back to back, we'll ship it. If not, then
because it gets pricey, man.
I mean, you got your reign. You got your reign, but you don't get to actually like sport the gold.
That's fair. Fair.
And it forces you to come back on and come back and get more time with us too. So.
Yeah, there's a chance for shipping this bitch to Australia tomorrow or Monday morning. So somebody needs to do something.
It's coming to Chicago. It's gonna look nice. It's gonna look nice on my shoulder. I already know it, and I'm gonna come back.
As long as it leaves Philly, I'm okay with it. But if it goes to Australia, it's gonna be it's gonna hurt my wallet, and I'm good with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm good with it, but I'm gonna be like, shit, as I like send money to Dom to mail that bitch out.
I'll tell you what, being in Philly, it's not losing financial value, but there's like a film of grime that's just covering it, and I can't. No matter how much I clean it, it's not coming off.
I'll clean it up with some good old fashioned Chicago scum.
Yeah, nice.
Every time.
Well,
This
what do you
was a
say,
fun one.
guys?
Let's
Should we wrap
tell
this
everybody.
up?
Tell everybody where we can find everything
Yeah,
again.
thank
To
you
our
so
people that
much.
watched over at Ringside tonight, we appreciate Steve and Ringside for giving us an extra push, an extra boost to some audience here. So
You
And
did
if
there.
and if
you like that? You like
and,
that?
and
I
to
like
the ringside audience that tapped in and is watching us, you can, if you be so inclined, you can go over and subscribe to us over on YouTube as well at bodyslam.net pro wrestling. Catch us over on the website too. Bodyslam.net has all of our exclusive interviews and breaking news content, reports, everything that you would need. You can catch us on Twitter at bodyslamnet. You can also catch the podcast at bodyslam_pod. And you can catch Trevor at the Trevor Outlaw on Twitter and Instagram, correct?
My man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Making it easy.
Making
And,
it nice and easy for all the derelicts out there.
Nice.
But
And you can find me. Dom, where can you find me? Tell them, because I don't do it as well as you do.
you can find him at CASSHOOOLE. Don't worry about me. I'm boring on Twitter, but make sure you head over and subscribe to us over on YouTube too, so you can see the video. And we're going to hopefully do this live more often. And maybe in the next 6 months, I'll actually figure it out and not screw
just
it
go
up.
Go to YouTube, give it type in on the search bar, search for bodyslam.net. You should be able to find us. It's got our little logo. There's another Body Slam on YouTube, but it's not the one for the website. So if you see the one that says bodyslam.net, that's us. So find us, give us a sub, and you'll be able to follow more of these, man. You'll get used to the crew over here, guys. So we appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you again, Steve, and everybody at ringside. We really hope you enjoyed us.
And Trevor, thank you so much for coming on again, man.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Now that I'm about to win this title, you guys, your audience better get seeing this face. Probably with more facial hair in the future, but you know what? Let him. I always throw him for a loop because I should have robbed the bank.
Keep them guessing, man. Got to keep everybody guessing.
Yep.
So.
I was gonna tell you that off air, man. You picked you should have committed some kind of crime before you do that. It's the easiest way to change your face.
Next time for sure.
Yeah. Well, again, let me just preface that. Don't do that. And if you do, call me.
Well, is it time for the outro music? Are you ready?
I think so.
One up the band. Ready? We ready?
Podcast with Cass and Dom and Trevor Outlaw. The push.
Those high notes, man. Chef's